friends, welcome to another Merry Toy Transformation. Today we brought you another family straight from the North Pole. We're talking about the Elf family. Barbie is going to be Mrs. Elf, Ken will be Mr. Elf, and these two LOL dolls will be their kids. It's going to be so much fun. So come and join us, because it's unboxing time. Let's start by removing the first layer. Here's where we're going to find the secret message, so let's check it out. Can you guess it? It says, Smart Cookie. Moving on to the second layer, we're going to find the collectible sticker. And here it is. It says that if you add water, our LOL doll can either change color, spit, tinkle, or cry. We're now on to the third layer. Underneath it, we're going to find our first blind bag. Let's open it up to see what's inside. It's an amazing white baby bottle. And we've got to the fourth layer now. Here we have another blind bag where we're going to find our doll's shoes. So let's see. Wow, such a neat pair of white shoes. And here's the last layer, guys. Let's remove it so we can open the secret compartment. And this is where we'll find the blind bag that has our doll's outfit. Wow, such a lovely dress. It's ultra cute. And now we can find out who our doll is. We just have to open the ball to check the catalogue. Let's see. There she is. Her name is Sis Swing. And here we have our last blind bag with an accessory. Let's see what it is. Look, it's a pink bow. And it's time to meet our doll. Here she is. She's simply adorable. Here we have the dolls that we're going to be transforming. We won't be using any of their original accessories. Instead, we're going to use this dress and these shoes for the elf girl. And for the elf boy, this outfit and these shoes. Then we're going to make the parents' outfits from scratch. So, let's get started. Let's start with the elf boy. First, we're going to use air dry clay to make his hair. So make sure you completely cover the top of his head. Then we're going to use our modelling tool to make the details like his bangs and some lines to give his hair a nice texture. Now, grab a chunk of clay and put it on top of his head because we're going to make a nice elf hat for him. Once the hat looks like this, we're going to attach a thin strip of clay. This is going to be the trim of the hat. Now let's paint his hair with some chocolate brown acrylic paint. Then we're going to paint the top of the hat with some of this olive green paint. You can leave the trim part unpainted for now. And we're going to use the same olive green colour to paint his t-shirt. I think this is a very Christmassy colour. And once the tee is dry, we're going to use a little bit of gold metallic paint and a thin brush to paint two suspenders. With the same gold colour, we're going to paint his shorts. And the trim part of his hat. Wow, he's beginning to look super jolly. Then we're going to paint his stockings with olive green. Just paint his whole legs like this. And paint two thin stripes with the gold metallic paint. Then, with a small piece of clay, we're going to make his ears. Remember, they have to be super pointy and cute. Let's also paint his shoes with some of the metallic gold paint. With some of this pale rose acrylic paint, we're going to paint the ears that we've already attached to his hat. Let's paint his eyes with a tiny bit of baby blue. Then we're going to attach a sleigh bell to the tip of the hat using a little drop of clear glue. So merry! And finally, we're going to give those cute eyes some shine with a little bit of clear nail polish. And here we have our elf boy. He's simply adorable. I love his pointy ears and his hat with the sleigh bell. I'm sure he's ready to go and help Santa wrap some presents. Now let's move on to the elf girl, starting with her hair. Use some air dry clay to cover her pigtails. And we're going to give them a kawaii spiky look. And we're going to leave the rest of her hair as it is. But what we're going to do is make her lovely elf hat like her brother's. Then attach a thin clay strip to make the trim of the hat. And let's paint her hair with some of this cute buttermilk yellow. Now we're going to paint her hat with some of this candy apple red, but just the top part. Because we're going to paint the trim with some of this gold metallic paint. Let's paint her stockings with some of the candy apple red. And then we're going to paint 2 thin stripes with the gold paint. Now we need to paint her dress too, so let's use some more of the candy apple red. And with the metallic gold, we're going to paint the trim of her dress to make it look fabulous. And also the cute bow. And to make it look super Christmassy, we're going to paint a few olive green dots too. Don't forget about her ears, so just grab a small piece of clay and make sure you make them extra elvish. Once you've attached the ears, paint them with some of the pale rose acrylic paint. And let's paint her eyes with some of the baby blue paint. Now she needs a sleigh bell on the tip of her hat too, so let's attach it with a bit of clear glue. And finally, let's give those cute eyes some shine with a little bit of clear nail polish. Look, our elf girl is ready! She looks fantastic! I really love how her dress looks super holly jolly. In which department of Santa's workshop do you think she works? Now let's move on to Mrs. Elf. We're going to use this Barbie dress as a stencil to trace its shape on this red fabric. Then cut it out with scissors. Fold the fabric like this so you can cut both pieces at the same time. And then sew them with some thread and a needle. If you don't know how to sew, you can always ask for the help of a grown-up with this step. Now with this green felt fabric, we're going to cut out a long strip that will be her belt. Let's make the mom's hat. We're using this velvety red fabric again for this. We're just going to cut out a crescent shape like this. Here it is, and now we're going to fold it over and sew the 2 sides together. Always be careful when using a needle and ask a grown-up for help. Once it's sewn, we'll turn it inside out to hide the stitches. For the trim of the hat, we're going to use another little strip of the green felt fabric, and we're going to add some details to the design by cutting out little triangles along one side like so. We're going to add some fun details to the mom's skirt too, so let's cut out some little triangles along the trim, right the way around. Now for the mom's belt buckle, we're going to use some of this gold glittery foam. We'll cut out a square about this size. Then we'll cut out 2 little spaces where we'll be able to thread the belt through. We're going to fold a piece of green fabric in 2 and cut out the shape of his little pockets. By folding it, we can cut them out both at once. To add the mom's stockings, we're going to paint them on. We're using this very Christmassy and gorgeous candy apple red acrylic paint for this. To finish off the mom's hat, we're going to add the green trim. We're using a little clear glue for this. And just pop it in place. Once the paint on the mom's legs is dry, we're going to add some details to the stockings. We'll use some green acrylic paint to add stripes right along the legs. Don't forget to paint the back of the legs too. To decorate our Barbie's dress, we're going to use some more of this green felt fabric, and we're going to cut a strip with a zigzag shape like I'm doing here. We're also going to make her 2 little bracelets for the cuffs of her dress with a similar design. So let's cut out 2 strips of the green felt, and we'll cut out triangle shapes along these 2 so they match the outfit perfectly. Time to add our Barbie's cute belt. We'll stick it on with clear glue too. Now we'll glue this detail to her neckline. And now the cuff details. We'll stick one at the end of each sleeve like I'm doing here. Time to make the mom's little elf ears. We're using some more air dry clay for this, and we'll mold them between our fingers to make a cute pair of pointy ears. She still needs some shoes. As you know, elves wear pointy boots that look a little bit like slippers actually, and they look pretty comfy too. So we're going to use another piece of our red velvet, which we'll double over, and we're going to cut the shape of the shoes like so. Now we'll wrap it around her foot and glue it together like this with clear glue. It looks very big, but that's because of the big point at the end. We've stuck on her ears at the side of her hat with clear glue, and now we just need to paint them. For our last little detail, let's add a little bell on the top of her hat to make it extra Christmassy. Add a drop of clear glue and stick it on. And here she is! What a gorgeous elf outfit! I love the little details like the ears and the stockings. Can you believe we made it all from scratch? She looks amazing! Let's move on to Mr. Elf. To make his top, we're going to trace one of Ken's t-shirts onto this lime green fabric. Let's cut it out. We folded the fabric in 2 so we can cut both sides at once. Let's do the same for his shorts. We'll use this pair of Ken's shorts as a stencil. We'll trace them onto this darker green fabric. And again, fold over the fabric and cut them out. Try to hold the fabric as still as possible so they're even. Now we're going to sew together the two sides of his top. Again, careful with your fingers, and once it's done, turn it inside out. And we'll sew the shorts too. We're going to cut out 2 long strips from this green felt fabric to make his suspenders. We're using this autumn brown acrylic paint to paint his hair. The dad also needs an elf's hat, so we're going to make his one out of green felt. So fold it over and cut out the shape. Let's sew up the sides like so and then turn it inside out to hide the stitches. We're using the same colour as for the mom's hat, but the main fabric for the mom's hat is what we're going to use for the dad's trim. So let's cut out a strip of it. And we'll cut out triangles along one side to add the same design. Here we have his shorts, which we've sewn and turned inside out, and we're now going to use a drop of clear glue to stick on the pockets. To make his stockings, we're painting his whole leg with some apple green acrylic paint. And the other leg too, of course. We're going to stick on the trim detail onto his hat. This transformation is reminding me so much of the movie Elf. Have you seen it? Once the green paint is dry, we're going to add some red stripes with our candy apple red acrylic paint. Have you noticed how we're using lots of the same details for the mom and dad, but with the colours reversed? So it makes sense that we'd make some details for the dad's neckline too, but this time with the red velvety material. We'll cut out zigzag for this too. From this little piece of red velvet fabric, we're going to cut 2 strips like this, and we'll cut triangles all along to make the same detail. I'm sure you can tell what these are going to be. Here we have our Ken doll in his outfit, so it's time to add the details. First we're using some clear glue to stick on his suspenders. And we'll glue on the detail for his neckline and shoulders too. Let's also add the details for the cuffs of his sleeves. We can't forget the dad's ears too. Just like with the rest of the family, we'll grab a little air dry clay and mold them with our fingers. Let's give him green elf shoes. So we're doubling over the fabric and we're cutting out the shape of the boot from our green felt. Once we've cut them out, let's stick them around his feet like you see here. Here we have our dad with his hat, which we stuck on with clear glue. We also glued on his ears. Now, let's paint them. And for a final detail, we'll stick on a little bell at the end of his hat. And let's take a look at the final result. Wow, I love this outfit! Just like one of Santa's elves. He definitely looks ready to head to the North Pole. So friends, here we have our gorgeous elf family. They really look ready for the holidays. On this side we have Mrs. Elf with her festive dress, hat and stockings, the elf boy with his cute little hat in gold and green colours. Here's Mr. Elf with his outfit also made completely from scratch. And my favourite of the day, the little daughter with the cutest little dress, hat and ears. Well guys, if you like this video, don't forget to tell us in the comments box below which is your favourite. Give us a like, ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos, and share it with all your friends. Bye!
Merry little Christmas.